Hey everybody. I was sick earlier this week. I'm feeling better, but still stuffy. You could probably hear it in my voice, but I'm making this video so that you have homework that you can work on this week so you can stay caught up with what we're doing in class. So I'll just start with grammar. If you can turn to page 127 in the grammar book, page 127. This is a review page. About strong verb, quality adjective, and ly adverb. You guys already know about these. You've been using them in your regular writing, and you've been finding them in this book. So this is basically a review. It just says a strong verb, a quality adjective, and an ly adverb are three different ways to dress up writing. These stylistic devices add a strong image and feeling. So these are dress ups that we use on our checklist. The strong verb is an action verb, never a linking or helping verb. Remember, those linking and helping are words like is, was, had, has been, those types of words. Um, so it's a strong verb is only the action words, like a word that shows action, like digging or running, jumping, swimming, things like that. A quality adjective is more specific than a weak adjective. So a weak adjective is overused, boring, or vague, meaning like on our banned words list with good and bad, those are weak adjectives. So we can use other words that are better for good, like fantastic or fabulous or wonderful, awesome, those types of words. So it's basically also giving more of an image to the noun that it's describing. And then the other one is the ly adverb. We know those end in ly, and it says it's used to enhance the meaning of a verb, an adjective or adverb that it modifies. So basically giving like how something is done. In this activity here on page 127, it says find the weak verbs and list possible stronger verbs. So I'm going to have you just basically decide on your own. Looking at the first sentence there, Timmy went to town in a cart. So went is the weak verb. So just draw a line through it. And above that, another way to say that would be Timmy rode to town in a cart. So that's an example. And if you think of a different one, you can put whichever one you want to put there. The next one says that evening, the cat saw Timmy. We already know saw is a banned word. So we could use found or spotted or spied, something like that. I'm going to put found here, but whichever one you like the best, you can write. The next one says, in his garden, Timmy ate spring peas. Ate is a banned word. So what's another way to say ate? We could say munched on. In the garden, Timmy munched on spring peas. You could say devoured, consumed, anything like that. This is review, like we said earlier. So here, this is where we're going to add an ly adverb and a quality adjective to these sentences. It basically says Johnny blank approached the blank garden. So the first blank is an ly adverb. So it could be quickly or quietly or slowly, something like that. I'm going to put quietly. Approached the vegetable garden. That's telling what kind of garden it was. Vegetables. Another one could be Johnny slowly approached the beautiful garden. Now, there's a lot of answers for this, so you can write what I wrote, or if you have different words to use there, you can use your own. And at the very bottom, it's basically telling you at the back of this book, there's a place to keep track of your favorite Strong verbs, quality adjectives, and ly adverbs. At the very back of the book, there's a place to make a list. So you can use that if you want, but you don't have to. I'm going to assign the next pages for your homework, which will begin on page 129 here. So you're going to do page 129, 130, 131, and 132. And I'll make sure to put the answer key in with your assignment. So that's what you're going to do for grammar this week. And then go ahead and get out your binders. I messed up on the homework assignment this week. It was completely my fault. And some of you probably noticed it, and maybe some of you didn't. But in class last week, we talked about writing a paper about eating vegetables. Remember, we talked about ways to disguise the vegetables if you know somebody that doesn't like certain things, or if you don't like certain things like carrots or broccoli or whatever, there's ways that you can get somebody to eat what they don't like as far as vegetables. And then on the Google Classroom, the homework assignment I posted was talking about an adventure. So some people wrote about adventure, some people wrote about eating vegetables, and some of you were just like so confused you weren't even sure what you were supposed to do. So I'm sorry, that was my fault. I messed up on that. So basically what we're going to do is move on. We're just going to be done with week 16, and that was the week about the vegetables. So you can put that away. We're just going to move on from that. There is a yellow page in your binder from week 16, and it is page 141. This one, you can put this one behind the model charts and outlines part of your writing binder. And then the rest of the stuff for eating vegetables, just go ahead and put it away. We're going to move on from that. I'm still going to read your homework. I'm still going to give you a grade on that. But we're not going to finish it because it was kind of confusing because it was the wrong one. Like I said, that was my fault. So go ahead and get out week 17 from your binders. And this one's called Explaining How. This is what it looks like, explaining how. And this is our next assignment. So you're going to need 2 pieces of lined paper along with week 17, which is only 3 pages here. Okay. On your lined paper, start with that. I'm going to have you take some notes. I'm going to go kind of quick right now because obviously I'm doing this by myself. So I don't have anybody to interact with on the Zoom, but you can pause this if you need to catch up on writing down these notes, but I'm going to go kind of fast just to get this done. So make sure to pause if you need to catch up. Name, today's date is 2/26/25, and I'm just going to call this class notes. The first thing we're going to talk about today is how to capitalize titles of stories. Because you've been working on that. We have the title rule on your checklist, and that basically says to use 1 to 3 of the words from your final sentence in your title. We know that rule. But there's also the rule about how to title it, like how to capitalize the titles. So I want you to skip a line under class notes and put rules for capitalizing titles. And just draw and underline that part right there. There's only 2 rules really, and the first one is pretty much the main rule. When you have a title, always capitalize the first and last words. Whenever you have a title, you always capitalize the first word and the last word, no matter what the words are. Number 2, capitalize everything, that's what that says with an E, everything except, and then put a colon here. So you're going to always capitalize every word in your title except these words. And I'm going to put a little dash here, articles, a, an, the. We know the articles, we find those all the time in our grammar books. You don't need to capitalize any of the articles unless it is the first word of your paper or your title. The first word of your title must be capitalized, even if it's a, an, or the. But if a, an, and the are in the middle of the title, then you don't need to capitalize those. Coordinating conjunctions. And those are the fanboys. You know those. You do not need to capitalize any of fanboys unless it's the first word of the title. Then you do. And the last one is prepositions. And you know that list from your grammar book. In, on, by, from, for, with, within, those types of words that are prepositions. Unless it's the first word of the title. That rule up here, number 1, is always true. Always capitalize the first and last words. And then these, if they're in the middle of the word, you don't need to capitalize those. So if you have the example, go ahead and skip a line, and I'm going to have you put this example here. We're going to pretend this is the title of one of your stories. I'm going to put lowercase on purpose here. Mary, lowercase, had a great, huge ram. And you might be thinking, that kind of sounds like Mary had a little lamb. And it is kind of like that, except for she has a great, huge ram, which is a male sheep or lamb. So here's a title, and I didn't capitalize any of them on purpose because I want you to see which ones we should capitalize. So let's go back up here to the rules. Always capitalize the first and last words. So we're just going to do the 3 little lines under the M for Mary. That's the first word. And the R for ram, that's the last word. Those are going to be capitalized always because they're the first and last words. And then it says to capitalize everything except, and I have an A here. That's one of the articles. I'm not going to capitalize A. I don't see any fanboys words here. And I don't see any prepositions here. So that tells me I need to capitalize this and this and this. So now we're going to rewrite it the correct way as far as a title. Mary's going to have a capital M. It does anyway because it's her name. Had is a capital. A is not. Great is capital. Huge is capital. Ram is capital. That is how you capitalize your titles of your stories, whatever it is. These are the rules. So keep these notes somewhere where you know you can find them if you need them to look back on when you're writing a story or a paper and you need to come up with a title. Okay, the other thing we're going to take notes on this morning is steps in writing an essay. So there's steps that we need to take. So skip a line here, and I want you to just put steps in writing an essay. Notice I did capitalize that like a title. In is a preposition, so I don't need to capitalize that. And is an article, I don't need to capitalize that, but everything else is capitalized. We're going to underline that. The first thing you need to know is what is your subject. So let's put subject, and that is the main thing you're writing about. The second thing you need to do is list possible topics. And you guys probably remember that when you were summarizing multiple references or when you're summarizing any reference. This is going to be a little bit different type of an essay. This is called inventive writing, and we're going to talk about that. We did a little bit last week about the vegetables. Remember, we talked about inventory and how that is from your own brain. So you're going to write about something that comes from within yourself. Okay, you don't have to do any research on this. You got to just think about what you know. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Then you're going to choose a topic. And I'm going to make a note here next to that. Three, and I'm going to do the paragraph symbol. 3 paragraphs equals 3 topics. So it depends on how many paragraphs you need to have in the body of your paper. I will tell you a little sneak peek. This is going to ultimately be a 5 paragraph essay. Don't freak out. We are only doing 3 paragraphs this week, the middle body paragraphs. And then next week, when we see each other again, you're going to do the introduction and the conclusion. So that's what you were going to do for the vegetable one, but we're just putting that away and moving on. So I'll give you a new topic in a minute. Number 4 is you're going to write your KWO for the body paragraphs. I'm just going to use the paragraph symbol here. You're going to write your keyword outline just for the body paragraphs, and that's going to be your homework this week. And you're going to write body paragraphs. So this part here is what we're going to work on today. But then next week, we're going to do number 6 is the conclusion. And number 7 is the introduction. And those are going to be paragraphs 1 and 5. But like I said, we're going to focus on that next week. Okay. Let's turn this over to the back side of your note page here. And I want you to make, this is where we're going to try to come up with what your subject is going to be. And the goal is to think about something that you know how to do or how to make, how to do something. So your subject at the very top of this page here, my lines are kind of light here, but just put subject and a colon and put how to blank. I want you all to think for a minute about something that you know how to do. Maybe something like a sport you know how to play, maybe a craft that you know how to make, maybe a food that you know how to make, or something that you know how to do. And I'm going to have you make a list of, because I know you guys are really good at a lot of things. So make a list of some things that you can think of about yourself. I'm going to write down some things here about myself, but I want you to be thinking about yourself because you have to know how to do this. So you can pause the video right here for a minute and think about some things that you know how to do and make a list for yourself, as many things as you can think of. I'm going to put, I know how to sew. I know how to sew curtains and pillows and things like that. I know how to make spaghetti. I know how to, I can just put cook as a generic thing that I know how to do. Let's see, I know how to make videos. I know how to edit videos. I know how to drive a car. Maybe you know how to drive a go-kart. Maybe you know how to ride a skateboard or rollerblades, something like that. Play Minecraft. I have a feeling some of you know how to do that, or play whatever video game. And then I want you to also think about some things that maybe you're going to pretend that you know how to do, like from a movie that you've seen, maybe. Like, I'm going to put train a dragon. because I've seen that movie, How to Train a Dragon, right? Or walk on the moon. Now, I don't really know how to do this, but I can make it up. So if you're one of those students that just can't think of anything that you know how to do, you can make something up. Okay, so I want you to make your list of things that you know how to do, and then I want you to pick one. I'm going to pick make spaghetti. I know how to make spaghetti. So circle on yours which one that you're going to pick. This is your subject. Okay. And now I want you to skip a line and put possible topics. Now, this part is going to be about what you circled up here. So if you circled play Minecraft, then you're going to think of possible topics about Minecraft. And this is where you're going to start thinking in your head and asking yourself questions about that to come up with a list of topics. Like for me, I know I need to have ingredients. I need to have tools to make it, right? I need to have a recipe, even though I know how to make it. I like to follow a recipe still. Um, what else? I need to have the tools are like the pot and everything. Um, people to serve it to, people to serve. Um, and that's a good start for me. Now, remember, we're writing 3 body paragraphs, so you're going to need to come up with at least 3 topics. I'm going to choose ingredients, tools, and recipe. So in your possible topics, you need to pick 3 because you're going to write 3 body paragraphs here. Okay. Now get out your other blank lined piece of paper because remember I asked you to get out 2. So on this one, we're going to label, I know I'm going kind of fast, and if you need to pause it, that's okay too. So you can pause it and catch up if you need to. I'm going to put my name and date here, and then I'm going to put how to blank. So whatever your subject is, whatever you decided to write about, put that here. How to play Minecraft, how to ride a bike, how to play soccer, how to play dodgeball, whatever it is that you're going to write about. KWO. Now, I'm going to set this up pretty quick so you can pause again, skip a line. Your Roman numeral 1, you're just going to put 1, 2, and 3. This will be your introduction, which we're going to talk about next week in class, okay? And then skip a line and do Roman numeral 2. This one's going to have 1 through 5. Roman numeral 3, skip a line, Roman numeral 3, 1 through 5 again. Skip a line. This is going to be Roman numeral 4. It's an I and a V. And then 1 through 5 again. And turn it over to the back. Roman numeral 5, sorry. You're like, whoa, whoa, where'd 6 come from? Yeah, you don't have to do 6. You're just going to stop at 5, but it's just a V for 5 on the back, and you're going to do only 1, 2, 3 for that part. That's your conclusion, which we're going to talk about next week, okay? So put a bracket around 2, 3, and 4 like this. These are your body, put this in the margin here, body paragraphs. That's what it's called in the middle of an essay when you have 5 paragraphs. The middle 3 are the body paragraphs. And then skip a line, and I want you to put ask questions. So you're going to ask yourself questions about each topic. So for me, I was going to write about spaghetti, right? So I'm going to put spaghetti. That's my subject. So I would put how to make spaghetti up here. And then I'm going to put my first topic, which is going to be recipe. I'm going to put that as my first one. And then one more word about that topic. For me, because I'm talking about a recipe, I'm going to put grandma because I got my recipe from my grandma. Whatever you have, if it's like how to play Minecraft, you can add an extra word like creative because that's what Minecraft really is. You're creative or challenge or something like that that you can add a third word about that topic. So my topic here is recipe. My subject is spaghetti. So this is the pattern on your Roman numerals for your body paragraphs. Write the subject, then your topic, and one more word about that topic. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to put my subject again, spaghetti. This time, my topic is going to be ingredients. And then my third word that I'm going to choose is store. But yours is going to be different because you're writing about what you know how to do or make it up. Like, remember I said how to train a dragon? If that's the topic or that's the subject you pick, you would put train dragon. Actually, that's two words. So you might have to train D and then a topic like um, rules and then another word about the rules or whatever it is that you want to write about how to train a dragon. Well, maybe you first have to find a dragon, right? Anyway, it's whatever creativity you want to do with this. Mine is next one is going to be again the subject, spaghetti. My next topic down here is going to be tools. And then my third word for tools could be kitchen. Yours is going to be different. Okay, so once you have your three topics written out, you start with your subject and then the topic and one more word about that topic. Subject, topic, one more word about the topic, subject, topic, one more word about the topic. Once you have that figured out, these here, 1 through 5, under each of these, this is when you ask questions. And remember, your questions are who, what, when, where, why, how. And then there's some extra questions you can ask, like problems. What are the problems with this? Like how to train a dragon? Well, possibly the dragon might breathe fire, and then that would be a problem for you. So you got to have a way to protect yourself from the fire that they breathe or whatever. Solutions. I'm just squeezing these in here just so you can have those to refer to as you're coming up with your plot. Best, worst. Okay, I'll just stop there. These are questions that I want you to ask yourself to come up with the details for each one of these topics. Like, I already answered who did I get my recipe from? My grandma. And then what is the recipe? I can start explaining what the recipe is. And then when do you make spaghetti? Well, I make spaghetti in the evening for dinner. It's more of a dinner. It's not a breakfast, right? Or a snack. It's a dinner. And then why? Why do I make spaghetti? Well, it turns out my family loves spaghetti. These are details I can put here about that. And I want you to think about your subject and the topics that you chose. And I want you to fill these in. The rules are still the same. 3 keywords, numbers, symbols, abbreviations, those are all free. Fill this in with these details here, answering these questions about these topics. And then you're going to write your 3 paragraphs, which is the middle part, the body part of your essay. That's your homework this week. And then look at the checklist really quick with me. You're going to ignore this page about the conclusion and the introduction. We're going to do that next week. I promise we'll get it right this time. So your work this week is going to be to write just the middle 3 paragraphs, not all 5. You're only writing the middle 3 paragraphs. 2, 3, and 4. Those are the paragraphs you're going to work on this week. So you're going to work on the body part. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. So you still have all of those dress ups and all of those sentence openers, and you still have your topic clincher, which is right here under that word body. Okay. So that is it. I know that was really fast because I'm by myself. I'm just going to blast through it, pause it, go back if you need to. But that is your homework this week. The grammar pages and 3 body pages, not pages, 3 body paragraphs. How about that? About how to do something. So think about it. If you need help with ideas, you can ask your mom or dad or somebody in your family who can help you come up with some ideas of what you know how to do. And you're going to come up with 3 different topics for each paragraph about that thing that you know how to do. All right. Let me know if you have any questions in the classroom, Google Classroom. And anyway, I will see you next week. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.